We are just rolling up on Mark Bittoni's office out here in West Adams. One of the coolest offices I've seen in a long time. All right, let's go say hi to Mark. Make sure it's at work. Look at this place. What's going on? Hey, what's happening? Good to see you. In terms of the timing, what are you seeing in terms of the decontamination and the timing of when people want to do stuff?
Yeah, so you really can't get back to anything until they've completed phase 2,
Okay.
right? Remediation. So
Yeah.
the first thing is that the EPA's gone through, and they've gotten through quite a bit of that now. Phase 2 is actually all the debris removal. Then OSHA will allow surveyors to get in and actually take in some surveys.
Okay.
And so I think that's when that's going to be able to really kind of begin these projects in earnest.
Right. So, but just in general, what do you think timing would be like, in terms of a phase 2? And
So
then
what
getting that
the
done?
official answer is somewhere between 3 to 6 months in the future.
That's what I heard.
So that's the official answer. But some of the people that have opted in on their own, doing their own private remediation, are
Yeah.
able to kind of do it a little bit faster.
Right.
A lot of people opted in with Army Corps of Engineers. So,
Oh, that's interesting.
so we'll see. Well, they'll do it for free. People that have gone away for like 3 or 4 years,
Right.
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 And kind of build community elsewhere, and then what are they going to do? Kind of like remove themselves from this new community,
Right.
go back to the Palisades.
Right.
And then also, do you really want to be the first person back?
Nope.
Right?
No.
You kind of want to let some stuff build.
Yeah.
You don't want to be the first person.
No.
I think
why
that's
would
going to be
you?
the challenge.
And then there's also the infrastructure issues, I'm assuming, as well, with the, water, power, gas lines, things like that have to be
That's going in
rejigged.
pretty fast.
Is it?
Yeah, I know there was a big movement to put everything into the street. I don't know
Okay.
if that's actually happening.
I wish they would do that.
That would be great.
That would be
Although
logical. Right?
that has a lot of other complications as well.
Right.
So when the power goes out,
Yeah.
when you then have to figure out where it's out,
Right.
where it goes, so you have to be going underground.
Right.
Also, when we get these crazy rains,
Right.
those vaults all flood,
True.
things short out.
True, yeah.
And you got to be able
Yeah.
to extract stuff. So it's much easier to kind of access power lines.
So just keep them out for now.
Well, they're not. I mean, I would prefer that they were out of
Yeah,
sight, but
yeah.
the thing is, I think that
They're not
kinda
the
makes
prettiest
sense.
of
They're not the
things,
prettiest,
right?
but they
Yeah,
kind of do the
yeah,
job.
Yeah. Have you been up there, by the
I
way?
have. I went up about 2 weeks ago.
What was your
I
impression?
was emotionally completely just
Really?
devastating. I mean, I didn't have anything that was lost, but just the overwhelming nature of seeing all of it just erased.
Yeah.
And there's a few spots where their homes stayed, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's a community that's just sort of just been completely just eviscerated.
Yeah.
I've talked to people that talk about they want a fireproof house.
Yeah.
A
That's a
fireproof
big
house.
conversation right now.
Well, that's a big
But not
different
fireproof,
than
fire resistant.
Correct.
Right, fire resistant.
So that's already, fireproof is a whole nother
Yeah, that's like a
benchmark
bubble.
that
That's
I don't
like a
know if
fire
people can
bubble.
afford to build.
Right.
So
Right.
that's going to be a challenge.
Right. This is Mark's paperweight. Right there.
Yeah, this one's cool. So this is a 1960 Fiat Millicento. This car was never produced or actually sold in the United States. So
Okay.
it was brought in. I bought it maybe about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. My grandfather actually had the exact same car.
Really?
Yeah, same year, same model, different color.
Huh.
But it's kind of cool because it still has this whole sort of old suicide. Take a phone call.
Built for comfort, I guess.
No,
huh?
you can actually adjust it up.
Oh, wow.
It's funny about that
yeah.
is you'll notice that there's, I think, 3 ashtrays?
Yeah.
More of ashtrays in the back for both passengers.
This is manual?
It is. So it's in the, right, it's called 300
Wow.
proof. So yeah.
Wow, this
course.
is neat. I think they put the hinges on the wrong side.
Well, the whole reason for this actually is so that it was more efficient, so you only had one set of hinges.
Oh, because this is like a double.
Yeah, the whole idea of this was it was
Wonderful.
just economy. It wasn't really about any sort of design. And in fact,
That's
one of the reasons why this changed, there's a couple reasons. One is if somebody were to come and hit your door, you'd be kind of smashed,
Yeah.
right? The other one is modesty. So when a woman would kind of get out of the car, if they were wearing a dress, then
Yep.
they weren't really concealed.
Ah.
And so the idea was maybe we flip
Go
it.
forward
So it's more of
instead
a
of-
modesty.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
Welcome to Mark's Good Life Crisis.
Yeah, this is it. So this is a 1981 Ferrari Mondial 8. There were only about 700 of these produced. This is the first year. This one's a Euro spec, so it looks a little bit different from the other ones. What's cool is this is kind of the precursor. This kind of sits in between the 308 and then the Testarossa. So you'll see some of the same design cues, kind of like from Pininfarina, like these vents that they turned into larger vents. The interesting thing is that this car was really designed as kind of a businessman's car. So therefore, you get the 4 seats. If you want to seats.
Because lots of people could fit in the back there.
Yeah,
it's a very comfortable
that was one of the
back seat.
requirements when I bought it. Is my wife was like, "Can we all have 2 sons?" So the idea was we could all fit in the car. So this was it. So that's why it has this kind of strange geometry where
great leg room for everybody.
Yeah, this is like extended, so it's a little bit different proportions. It was a little bit of a flop to some degree because it was heavy. And it was slow.
Oh boy.
Yeah. And so it wasn't exactly a big seller.
Wow, this is cool.
But it ticks the boxes. It's 80s.
And drivable too?
Oh yeah, I can drive this.
Hey, look at tape deck. I haven't driven manual in many years.
Yeah, it's fun. You definitely feel more connected to the car.
Yeah, you know what
you just gotta have to swing out.
You know what they didn't align the pedals appropriately.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So you can kind of see also this is the front, so the engine's in the back.
Right,
it's a mid-engine, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, and
except for the brake. Isn't that the brake or steering? Is that for steering?
This is the power brake.
Power brake, yeah.
So,
and then you got your brake fluid in there. Remember?
Yeah. But what's cool is at least you got the pop-up headlights, which to me is like, I mean, that's kind of what.
I've never been a fan of that because, as you know, I mean, aerodynamic drag is increased when you pop up headlights. Like, oh yeah, but it looks good. It looks cool, absolutely. But it's funny that you have a speedy car, and then all of a sudden you pop these headlights up and you're going fast and you've got this like hitting a air hitting a brick.
For sure.
You know?
So you notice how all this stuff is like hand stamped. I mean, it's all like you got a lot of curves on it, so you don't see that in cars anymore.
No. Look at it. Doesn't even move when people go. Look at that. Look at that. I'm not gonna lie.
Who doesn't do the jumping stuff?
This is a Frank Gehry chair.
I think this was kind of produced in the early 90s by Knoll. It's part of his Bentwood collection. So it's a whole collection. These are all single pieces of wood that have been modified or bent, right? And so they're all kind of glued together. You can actually sit in it. You break it, you buy it. It's okay. It's already been glued.
Oh, look at that. Is it weird that I don't find it that comfortable?
No, architects don't really do chairs well. That's the problem.
We design
cool object-looking chairs, but not at the end, not so much.